Hello. Hey guys. How you doing? What's up, Wing Chun? You are first again. You're always first. What's up, Losh? Nice of you to join. Hey Peep. Glad you're here. Hey Dan. How's it going? Man, you guys. This year has been like the wettest year in California in a while. Okay. I don't know for how long, but it's pretty wet. It's been raining. So weird. What's up, Nikki? Yeah, and I think it's been filling up our reservoirs too, so things are looking pretty good. Although I don't think the drought is over yet. I don't think it's ever gonna be over. This is a new normal now. Let's look at reservoirs, California reservoirs, because I read an article that has like the before and after the storms. And the reservoirs, they filled up pretty quickly. What's up, Katie? Glad you're here. Before and after. Oh, hold on. I saw like a pretty dramatic picture. Look at this. Oh wait, this is 2016. Look at this. Look at this. It's like nothing, and now there's like hella water. Yeah. Look at this. Wait, this is the drought. One of these pictures is correct. Look at this. This is a sad little reservoir, and look at this. Oh my god, it's crazy. Anyways. Alright. So we're gonna do... What are we doing? We're doing... US Capitals quiz. Alright. We had 98%. 98% last time. Can we do 100? Can we do 100? I think we can. Montpelier. Ah, fuck. Wait, Montpelier is Vermont? Right? Montpelier, Vermont. That sounds right. Montpelier, Vermont. I'm Asian on your screen. That's really funny. Montpelier, Vermont. Okay, good. Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina. Frankfurt. Oh no. Where's Frankfurt? Frankfurt, Kentucky? Frankfurt, Kentucky. What's up, Bigfoot? Glad you could join. Yo. Frankfurt, Kentucky, right? Kentucky? Okay. Harrisburg, we know this is Pennsylvania. Carson City, Nevada. Phoenix, Arizona. Trenton. Ah, fuck. Trenton, New Jersey. Topeka, Kansas. Boise, Idaho. Charleston, West Virginia. Charleston, West Virginia. That sounds right. Charleston, West Virginia. Okay. St. Paul, Minnesota. Columbia. Ohio is Columbus. So where's Columbia? Columbia. Arkansas, no. Columbia, Missouri. Oh no. Columbus, Ohio. Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. Okay. Montgomery, Alabama. Austin, Texas. Washington, D.C. is here. Denver, Colorado. St. Oregon, Madison, Wisconsin. Does anyone mix up Wisconsin and Michigan? Because I do. This is Michigan, right? This is Wisconsin. They're like two gloves. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Jefferson City. Oof. Where's Jefferson City? Jefferson City, Missouri? Jefferson City. It sounds like a Missouri place. Oh God. Jefferson City, Missouri. Missouri, right? Okay. Bismarck is North Carolina, North Dakota. Hartford, Connecticut. Juneau, Alaska. Dover, Delaware. Salt Lake City is Utah. Jackson, Mississippi. Des Moines, Iowa. Little Rock, Arkansas. Springfield, Illinois. Oh, now the easy ones. Oklahoma. Nashville, Tennessee. Albany. New York. Pierre is South Dakota. Augusta, Maine. Providence, Rhode Island. Baton Rouge is Louisiana. Lansing's Michigan. Honolulu. Indianapolis, Indiana. Lincoln, Nebraska. Sacramento, California. Olympia. Washington, Tallahassee. Oh, I'm on a roll. Columbus, Ohio. Cheyenne. Wyoming, Boston, Massachusetts. Georgia. Helena. Concord. Annapolis. Oh, so easy. Guys. Not even close. Not even close. Okay, that was good. Alright, what next? 13 colonies. Oh, what is this? US cities difficult version. US cities 53. Oh, major cities. Did we get major cities or did we miss? Chinese provinces? That's too hard. I need to study for that. Do they even have it? Chinese provinces. Oh shit, they do have it. Oh no. It's too hard. I don't even know. No, I need to study. Counties of Virginia. Why are there so many provinces? What the heck? It's way too hard. Alright, I'll study later. Do flags? Country flags? Oh, I want to do... U.S. state flags? No, that's way too hard. Country flags quiz. Oh god. Jesus. Wait, how does that work? Oh, I gotta click on Nigeria. Oh god. Okay, that's way too hard. Nope, not doing that. This maybe, but not today. All right, let's do cities. Oh, so many cities. Do each continent. It'll be fun. It's not fun because I don't know any of the provinces. Is Hong Kong a province? Okay, Portland is in Oregon. I know that. Detroit, Michigan. Philadelphia, we know that. Wait. Ah, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I have to know where it is, too. Charlotte? Hey, where's Charlotte? Is it North Carolina? Okay. Vegas is here, I believe. Oh, no! Wait, Vegas is here. I keep forgetting. Yeah, Vegas is in Nevada. Honolulu. San Antonio. I think Antonio... One of these. Oh! St. Louis. Missouri. Missouri. Wait, St. Louis. Missouri? Oh. Tulsa. Where's Tulsa? Tulsa, Alabama? Here? Nope. Tulsa. It's in the south, right? Wait, where's Tulsa? Really? Okay. Kansas City. It's gotta be in Kansas, right? What? Oh. St. Paul, Minnesota. Minneapolis is right next to it. Okay. Tampa, Florida. Tampa's here, right? No, here. Oh, no! I don't know where anything is. El Paso. One of these. I think it's here. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia. Nashville, Tennessee. Denver is Colorado. Wichita. Wait, we saw it. Wichita, Kansas. Jacksonville is in Mississippi. No. It's in Florida. Richmond. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. Richmond, Virginia. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Birmingham, Alabama. Washington, D.C. Chicago, Illinois. Cleveland is in Ohio, but where? Toledo, Cleveland. Indianapolis is here. Baltimore. Oh, wait, am I going crazy? Where's Baltimore? Wait, where's Baltimore? I have no idea where Baltimore is. Oh my god. Is it in Alabama? That's mobile. Baltimore, Maryland. Oh god. Milwaukee is Wisconsin. Buffalo must be in New York. Austin, Texas. Okay, Austin is here. Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Arizona. Houston is here, right? Or here? Or here? No! Memphis, Tennessee. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Austin, Houston. Boise, Idaho. Juneau. Omaha, Nebraska. Mobile, Alabama. New York is here. Miami. Boston. Toledo. 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 New Orleans. San Francisco. San Diego. Wait, San Diego. Tucson. San Jose. Albuquerque. New Mexico. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Los Angeles. Cincinnati, Ohio. Seattle, Washington. All right, not bad. Not bad. 78. I forgot Baltimore is in Maryland. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel bad about that one. I should have known that one. All right. 78. Yeah. All right. Anywho, we can try the Chinese provinces later, some other day. The cast of The Wire is gonna come from it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have known where Baltimore is. I should have known where the worst place in the U.S. was. All right, I have this. Wheat crackers, hot chili flavor. So it's like raw. It's a raw ramen, but as a snack. Hey, sounds pretty good. Oh, there you go. A little spicy, but not too spicy. Very flavorful. It's like some garlic, some sugar, some pepper. Not bad. It goes together very well. This is like a 7.9. 7.9 out of 10. Ramen bits. Big fry. Nom, 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 nom. Oh yeah, Peepzilla actually embroidered a thing. Wait, I can show it on screen. Hold on. Let me look it up. She posted this on my Discord. One sec. How do I save image? Lol. Love it. It's pretty awesome. Oh, where's my beanie? Maybe I should wear it. There you go. That's pretty cool. I liked it. Thanks for showing that, Peepzilla. You're awesome. Okay, so what happened last week? So last week, if you remember, the Murongfu group, they're talking with the people of the 36 caves and 72 islands, right? And Duan Yu is also there randomly. Murongfu decides to help those people with their problem, and their problem is this. The problem is, the name of their problem is the child elder or the child granny of Heavenly Mountain. Now, this monk named Wu Laoda, he lays out their problem. They're under the control of the child granny. If they do anything wrong, she punishes them or she kills them. She basically treats them like animals. And a couple of people, they demonstrate the punishments that they got from the child granny. Like this one dude has nails driven into his back. Another dude has like a bunch of lashings on his back. So this group, they're planning a rebellion. That's why they're meeting in this secret meeting. And they're planning a rebellion because they figured out that the child granny is sick. All right, and now it's the perfect time to kill her. Now, yeah, that's basically it. Oh, no one has seen her face because she kills anyone who does, right? How much you want to bet that she's also a lover of Duan Yu's dad? Yeah, so they're planning the rebellion, and that's where we are. Yeah, Murongfu is planning to help them with the rebellion. All right, Chapter 35. Right, Chapter 35. A beauty abruptly age, a fleeting moment of bliss. Some grammar issues there. It's okay. Beautiful women become old with a snap of the finger, splendid and fragrant in an instant. Wu Laoda, this is the monk from the 36 caves and 72 islands. Wu Laoda's countenance changed immediately. He is about to speak, but Taoist Bu Ping cast a meaningful look at him. He smiled and said, "Gentleman Duan is a nobleman. You refuse to take advantage of other people's precarious position. A capable person with great style. Admirable. Admirable. Brother Wu, we will assault Misty Peak. The number one priority is to know the real situation at Vulture Palace. Cave Master An Brother Wu, etc., the 9 of you, investigated personally. After that old witch left, how many experts are still at the palace? How are they deployed? I assume Brother Wu is thorough in your investigation. Please tell us and let everyone know. Wait. Oh no, that was Bu Ping talking. Please tell us and let everyone know. How about it? Wu Laoda said, I am really ashamed. We looked around at Vulture Palace, but nobody dared to pry further. We did our utmost to conceal ourselves. We fear bumping into someone else. But while I was at the palace's rear garden, I accidentally bumped into a little girl. This child is a servant or a maid. She suddenly raised her head. I did not have time to dodge, and we met face to face. I am deeply afraid of leaking out the secret. I rushed forward to capture her. Those ladies at the palace, all of them are instructed by that old witch in martial arts. Their skills are no small matter. Although it's just a child, I was afraid she was very capable. I rushed towards her. I was fully aware that I would most probably die. His voice trembled. Obviously, the situation at that time was extremely dangerous. He could not help but shiver when he recounted it. Everyone saw that he was still safe and sound now. Obviously, he must have averted the danger at Misty Peak. Although he was forced to pick a fight at Misty Peak to get out of danger, everyone felt he was rather reckless to attempt it. Wu Laoda continued, When I rushed forward, I used all my strength. I executed Tiger Claw skill with my pair of hands. A thought flashed through my mind at that time. If I can't catch that child with this move, and she yells out to attract reinforcements, then I will simply jump off this peak, which is several hundred zhang high, commit suicide cleanly, to avoid being captured by the female commanders of that old witch, and suffer endless misery. Unexpectedly, my left hand landed on her shoulder, right hand gripping her arm. She did not resist at all. In an instant, her body softened, and she lost all her strength. She didn't have the slightest bit of martial arts. I was overjoyed at the unexpected turn of events. I was so stunned that my legs became limp and painful. I was not afraid of being ridiculed by everyone. I scared myself. That child turned soft and collapsed. I was useless. I also turned soft and collapsed. What's up, Lady Koi? What's up, Tomoe? As he finished speaking, the crowd laughed out loudly. The mood became relaxed. Although Wu Laoda chastised himself for being a coward, everyone knew that he was actually a very brave and strong man. He dared to capture someone at Misty Peak. How can it be a simple matter? Wu Laoda waved his hand. His subordinate carried a black cloth sack, stepped forward and placed it in front of him. Wu Laoda untied the rope binding the sack. He pulled open the sack and revealed a person. Everyone cried out in surprise. That person's figure was very small. It was a little girl. Wu Laoda said proudly, "This baby girl, I captured her from Misty Peak." Everyone cheered. "Wu Laoda is amazing. You are a hero. Immortals from 36 caves and 72 islands. Wu Laoda is at the top of the list." The cheers... Wow, he caught a little girl. Yay, good job. The cheers are intermixed with squeaking and wailing. The little girl was rubbing her face and crying. Oh. What's up, Christina? Glad you could join. Wu Laoda said, "After capturing this female doll, we were afraid the news might leak out if we delay any longer. Thus, we left Misty Peak immediately. We questioned this girl repeatedly, but it's a pity. She is mute. Initially, we thought she pretended to be deaf and mute. We tried all sorts of methods to test her. Sometimes we shouted loudly behind her back to check if she was scared. We tried repeatedly. She is really deaf and mute." The little girl was weeping. wow, wow. Sure enough, it was the noise made by mute people. Oh, okay, I'm not going to do that. A person from the crowd asked, Wu Lao Da, she can't speak, but can she write? Wu Lao Da said, she can't write as well. We beat her up, submerged her in water, burned her with fire, starved her. We tried all sorts of methods. It seems she is not stubborn. She really doesn't know. Damn. Poor little girl. Duan Yu could not help but say, using this kind of despicable method to torment a little girl, you are shameless. Wu Lao Da said, the sufferings and torment we suffered under the child elder of Heavenly Mountain is 10 times worse. We are just paying it back. How can it be shameless? If you want revenge, you should seek out the child elder of Heavenly Mountain. Torturing her little girl servant, how is this useful? Of course it's useful. He raised his voice and said, brothers, today we work as one. We will rebel against the Misty Peak. From now on, we share all riches and suffer all misfortune together. Everyone will swear an oath with blood to confirm this matter. Is there anyone who is unwilling? He asked twice. No one spoke out. He asked for a third time. A tall and sturdy man turned around. He did not say anything and ran to the west. Wu Lao Da shouted, Swordfish Island, Island Master Oh, where are you going? The man did not reply. He kept on running. His movements were extremely fast. In a blink of an eye, he already passed a mountain depression. Everyone shouted, he is a coward, running away prior to battle. Intercept him quickly. Immediately, around 10 people gave chase. All of them possessed high-level lightness martial arts, but they were quite far from Island Master O. Nobody knew if they could catch up. Suddenly, there was a miserable "Ah!" cry. It came from the rear of the mountain. Everyone had a shock. Their countenance changed. The 10 people who were chasing also stopped moving. They heard the wind blowing. A spherical object swiftly flew up from the rear of the mountain. As it reached midair, it fell straight towards the crowd. Wu Lao Da leapt forward and caught the spherical object. Under the light, the object was bloodied and mutilated. Unexpectedly, it was a severed head. He looked at the facial feature of the head. Both the eyes were wide open. It was Island Master O. Wu Lao Da's voice trembled. Island Master O. He could not imagine how Island Master O died within such a short period of time. A terrible thought came to him. Don't tell me it's the child elder. Taoist Bu Ping burst into loud laughter. He said brightly, Sword God, your reputation is indeed well deserved. Brother Jewel, your guard is really tight. A bright voice transmitted from the rear of the mountain. Running away prior to battle, he should be put to death to avoid leaking out the secret. All the cave masters and island masters, please don't take offense. Okay, so you can't escape. You have to swear. Everyone roused from their panic-stricken state. They said, luckily, Sword God got rid of the traitor and prevented him from spoiling the matter. Wu Rongfu and Deng Baichuan pondered. This person is known as Sword God, but isn't he a bit too arrogant and conceited? No matter how brilliant your sword art, how could you proclaim yourself as God? I never heard of such a person before. I wonder how brilliant is his sword art? Wu Lao Da was ashamed of being overly suspicious. He said loudly, Brother, please take out your weapons, chop your saber, and thrust your sword at this little girl. Although this girl is young and mute, but she is from Misty Peak. When your weapon is drenched in her blood, you cannot reconcile with Misty Peak anymore. Even if you have a change of heart, you still cannot withdraw. As he finished speaking, he immediately raised his serrated saber. A bunch of people shouted in unison, What, they're gonna kill this little girl? Correct! This should be the case. Everyone will swear an oath with blood. From now on, you can only advance and not retreat. Fight that old witch until death. Duan Yu shouted, You cannot do that! You must not do that! Brother Murong, please stop their savage act. Fu shook his head and said, Brother Duan, their life and death is based on this single action. We are outsiders. We cannot meddle rashly. Duan Yu was boiling with righteous indignation. He shouted, A man sees injustice. How can he shut his eyes and ignore it? Miss Wang, even if you rebuke me, I still have to save her. But Duan Yu doesn't even have the strength to strangle a chicken. I am afraid it's difficult for me to save her life. Hello, Brother Deng, Brother Gong Yu. Why aren't you helping? Brother Bao, Brother Feng. I will rush in to save her. You provide support. How about it? Deng Baichuan and the rest always took their cue from Fu. Since Fu was unwilling to act, they could only shake their head at Duan Yu, but their expression was apologetic. Duan Yu is the only good person here. Wu Laoda heard Duan Yu making a big fuss. He thought, this person possesses extremely high martial arts. It's not easy to handle it if he really wants to create trouble. The situation can change abruptly. It's best to quickly end this matter. At once he raised his serrated saber and shouted, Wu Laoda will act first. He swung his saber and chopped towards the little girl. Duan Yu shouted, Not good! He extended his finger, he executed a move, Zhang Chong's sword, and thrust it at the serrated saber. But he could not control his 6 meridians divine sword at will. Sometimes his internal energy was abundant, his power boundless and inexhaustible, but sometimes he could not even gather a tiny bit of internal energy. It was entirely dependent on whether he was willing to focus completely on the task. Although he acted heroically to save the little girl, but ultimately it was not the same passionate care he showered on Wang Yuyan. As he thrust out the sword, his energy only reached his palm. It couldn't be fired out. As the saber was about to land on the little girl's body, suddenly a black shadow leapt out from behind a rock. He waved his left palm. A powerful force knocked Wu Laoda away. The person's right hand grabbed the cloth sack. He carried the sack along with the little girl on his back and rushed quickly towards the northwest mountain peak. Everyone shouted in unison and chased after him, but the person's running speed was strangely quick. In an instant, he already reached the jungle at the hillside. The various cave masters and island masters fired their hidden projectiles, but it hit the tree bark or got deflected by the branches and leaves. Duan Yu was elated. His vision was sharp. He recognized the person. He met him at Xu Xinghe's chess meet. The person broke the incomparably complicated chess formation. Sure enough, Fu shouted out, That person is the Shaolin monk, Xu Zhu. Oh, it's Xu Zhu. The third main character. Wow, what the? He just showed up out of nowhere? Duan Yu also shouted, Senior martial brother Shuju, the one surnamed Duan will bow 10 times to you. Your Shaolin temple is a giant among men. Your reputation is indeed well deserved. Everyone saw the person push away Wu Laoda with a single palm, his footsteps nimble and agile. His martial arts was truly solid. They also heard Fu and Duan Yu identify him as a Shaolin monk. Under the famous reputation of Shaolin Temple, everyone became timid. They didn't dare to approach unduly. But the implication of the matter was simply too serious. The little girl was rescued by a Shaolin monk. If they didn't silence the male-female pair, then their conspiracy will be leaked out, and they would attract disaster. Everyone bellowed their grievances and rushed forward. They saw the Shaolin monk rushing up the mountain peak. The mountain peak was high and reaching through the clouds. White snow covered the summit. To reach the top, even if you were a top expert in lightness martial arts, you would still require 4 to 5 days of effort. Taoist Bu Ping shouted, Everyone, please don't panic. That monk is going up the mountain peak. It's a one-way dead end. He won't fly up to heaven. Everyone guard the mountain base access route tightly. Don't give him any chance to escape. When everyone heard it, they felt somewhat at ease. Wu Laoda allocated the manpower. They guarded all the routes to the mountain peak. Out of fear that the people guarding the routes couldn't hold off the monk if he rushed out, they deployed 3 rows of barricades at the routes. If the front barricade couldn't hold him off, there was still the middle one. After the middle one, there was still another rear barricade. Moreover, there will be 10 experts patrolling around, and they would provide additional support. Once the assignment was done, Wu Laoda and Taoist Bu Ping, Cave Master An, Cave Master Huo, Island Master Qin, and all the 10 experts went up the mountain to track down the monk. Their priority was to eliminate the Shaolin monk to avoid future disaster. Mu Rongfu and his group were assigned to guard at the eastern route. To preserve their reputation, they were invited to sit at the east, but in reality it was just to prevent them from interfering with the matter. Mu Rongfu was sharp. He was aware that Wu Laoda was still suspicious of him. He smiled faintly and led Dang Baichuan and the rest to guard the east road. Duan Yu naturally followed them east. He was not afraid of being branded annoying. He could not help but praise Suju as a great hero. The person who grabbed the cloth sack was indeed Suju. He was scared out of his wits during the battle between Mu Rongfu and Ding Chunqiu at the small inn. During the time when You Tanzhu rescued Azu, Mu Rongfu freed himself and escaped. Ding Chunqiu went out to give chase. Suju immediately snuck out from the rear door. Remember, he was hiding in that room at the inn. His only concern was to find Hui Feng and the other martial uncles and listen to their orders, but he didn't recognize the route. After the fierce battle between Mu Rongfu and Ding Chunqiu, he became a frightened person. He didn't dare to go to a small inn or a small guest house anymore. He just rushed around randomly in the mountain and the fields. At that time, the 36 cave masters and 72 island masters were gathering at the mountain valley. They all brought along their trusted aides and disciples. There were quite a number of them. Thus, Suju inevitably bumped into some of them. Suju saw these people were martial artists. He wanted to inquire the whereabouts of Hui Feng and his martial uncles, but their appearances were fierce and ferocious. He was afraid they were with Ding Chunqiu, so he didn't dare to inquire. He secretly eavesdropped on their conversation. They seemed to be planning some sort of shady business. Suju was chivalrous and liked to help those in distress. Moreover, a Shaolin disciple is duty-bound to assist. Thus, he followed them, and eventually he saw and heard the ongoings of the matter. He was unaware of the various grudges and resentments in the matter, just as Wu Laoda was about to kill a completely defenseless mute girl. His merciful heart was moved. No matter who was right or wrong, he definitely must save the little girl. At once he rushed out from behind the rock. He grabbed the cloth sack and ran away. Okay, so there are 2 good people. Duan Yu and this guy. As he traveled up the mountain peak, he gathered his energy and rushed straight ahead. The forest was getting denser. The shouting of his pursuers gradually died off. When he saved someone, it was purely out of his merciful heart. He was determined to become a bodhisattva. When a living thing is in trouble, he definitely had to save them. But now he recalled that these people were martial arts experts, their methods cruel and vicious. He was no match against any one of them. He pondered, I have to run to a secret, secluded location and hide. Don't let them find me. Only then can I preserve my life and the little girl's life. At the moment, there was no time to consider other alternatives. He couldn't differentiate the route in his panic state. Wherever there was dense vegetation, he would simply run there. Luckily, he inherited 70 years of internal energy from the carefree sex's old man. His internal energy was abundant and vigorous. He ran for nearly 4 hours, but unexpectedly, he was not tired at all. He ran with full strength. Originally, his carefree sex's internal energy gathered at his left Shanzhong acupoint. It slowly scattered to other acupoints all over his body. The obstructions cleared up. He felt refreshed and invigorated. His physical strength increased. After rushing for another period of time, the sky turned bright. He was stepping on a thin layer of snow. It seemed he was already halfway up the mountain. This place is in the northwest high mountain. The summit was towering, snow-covered permanent, the climate like cold winter. Suju composed himself. He looked at his surroundings. His heart bounced randomly. He mumbled to himself, "Where should I run?" Suddenly, he heard a voice behind his back. "Coward! Only think about running! I am so ashamed of you!" Shuju was startled. He shouted loudly, "Ayo!" He extended his leg and ran wildly up the mountain peak. After running for a few li, he finally dared to turn his head back, but he didn't see anyone pursuing. He said softly, "Lucky no one is chasing." As he finished speaking, a voice came from behind his back. "You are a man! Frightened to such a state, you are a dog, rat, little bastard!" Shuju's shock was no small matter. He extended his leg and rushed forward again. The voice behind his back said, "Coward and stupid! You are really not a good thing." The sound was around 2 chi from his back. It was within his reach. Suju pondered. Terrible, terrible. This person's martial arts is so powerful, it's difficult for me to escape. He extended his leg. He ran faster and faster. The voice said again, "Since you are afraid, then you should not try to be a hero and save people. Where do you intend to run?" The voice was just beside Suju's ear. Where do you think it's coming from? His legs softened. He almost fell down. He stumbled and turned around. The sky was bright. Sunlight penetrated the dense shade, but he couldn't see anyone. Suju assumed the person was hiding behind a tree. He said respectfully, "Junior monk saw these people wanted to harm a little girl. Thus I overestimated my ability and saved her. I am not trying to show off as a hero." The voice sneered. "You overestimated your ability. You will experience suffering." The voice still came from behind his ear. Suju was startled. He hastily turned around. There was nothing behind him. Where is the person? He assumed this person's movements must be extremely fast. The person's martial art must be more than 10 times higher. Even if there were 10 Sujus, they would all be dead if the person really wanted to harm him. From the person's tone of voice, it was only criticizing him for being a coward and incompetent. The person did not seem to be in the same group with Wu Lao Da. He composed himself and said, "Junior monk is incompetent. Senior, please give me some directions." The voice sneered. "You are not my disciple. Why should I guide you?" Suju said, Yes, Junior monk is talking nonsense. Senior, please forgive me. They have many people. Junior monk is not their match. I have to run now." When he finished speaking, he gathered his energy and rushed up the mountain peak. The voice behind his back said, "This mountain peak is a dead end. They are guarding at the base of the mountain. How can you escape?" Suju stared blankly. He stopped moving and said, I didn't expect it. Senior is merciful. Please show me the correct path." The voice laughed grimly and said, "There are 2 paths. One, you turn around and kill the enemy. Butcher all those demons and ghosts." Suju said, "Firstly, Junior monk is incompetent. Secondly, I am unwilling to commit murder." The voice said, "Then the second path. Jump off the mountain. Drop straight into the bottomless ravine. Death ends all your trouble. Nirvana, free from all suffering." Suju said, "This..." He turned his head back and took a quick look. Everywhere was covered with snow, but there was only his footprints. There was no second person. He pondered. This person walks on snow and leaves no traces, martial arts is extremely high. It really reached unimaginable level. The voice said, "What this and that? What are you trying to say?" Suju said, "If I jump down, this junior monk will definitely die, but that little girl who I saved will also die. Firstly, I did not save a person properly. Secondly, this junior monk's Buddhist cultivation is shallow. I really cannot reach nirvana. I will undoubtedly reincarnate and suffer for an entire lifetime again." The voice said, "What is your relationship with Misty Peak? Why did you disregard your own life to save that person?" Suju quickly ran up the mountain peak. He said, "What Misty Peak, Vulture Palace? This junior monk heard it for the first time today. Junior monk is a Shaolin disciple. I received my orders to leave the mountain. I have no connections to other sects or schools." The voice sneered. "So you are saying you are a little monk that stood up bravely for what is right?" Suju said, "This junior monk is telling the truth, but I am not acting heroically. Junior monk has no knowledge and experience. My conduct is rash. I have countless problems troubling me, and I don't know what to do." The voice said, "Your internal energy is abundant and vigorous. You are truly capable, but the inner power is not from Shaolin. What is the reason?" Shuju said, "This matter is a long story. It's precisely one of my big problems." The voice said, "What long story, short story? I forbid you to avoid the problem. Quickly, tell me." The tone was severe. There was no room for him to evade the question. But Suju recalled Kang Guangling saying the phrase carefree sect was a secret, definitely could not let outsiders hear it. Although the person behind him was a martial arts senior, he could not even see the person's appearance. How could he hastily reveal this big problem without careful considerations? He said, "Senior, please forgive me. This junior monk really has a lot of difficulties. I cannot tell you." The voice said, "Good. Since this is the case, quickly put me down." Suju was startled. He said, "What?" The voice said, "Quickly put me down. What do you mean? You are so long-winded." Suju listened to the voice. It was neither male nor female, but it was extremely old. He heard the voice say, "Quickly put me down." He didn't understand the meaning. He stabilized himself and turned around. There was still no one behind him. He was really suspicious and fearful. The voice said, "Stinky monk, quickly put me down. I am in the cloth sack. Who do you think I am?" Yeah, I think we all knew that except for this guy. Suju was extremely startled. He could not help but relax his hand. There was a "pa" sound. The cloth sack landed on the ground. "Ayyo!" Cry came from the sack. The voice was old and in pain. It was precisely the voice he had been hearing all along. Suju also cried out, "Ayyo!" He said, "Little girl, so it's you! How come your voice is so old?" At once he opened the cloth sack and supported the person. The person's figure was short and small. It was an 8 to 9-year-old girl, but her gaze was electrifying, bright, and full of expression. As she looked at Suju, she had a dignified and imposing aura. Suju opened his mouth widely. He was speechless. Mysterious nobody. You did not know that? Yep. All right. Now is a good time for a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. Who is this little girl? And what does she want? And we back. A child who sounds like an elder. Gee, I don't know who it could be. Wait, who could it be? Is there a character that I'm forgetting? Am I supposed to know who this is? Okay, anyways. So she has an old voice. Okay, I guess I need to do an old lady's voice. Gonna try. So Suju opened his mouth widely. He is speechless. The little girl said, You didn't pay your respect when meeting a senior. So rude. The voice was old and aged, her expression old and decrepit. Suju said, Little girl. The little girl shouted loudly, What little girl, big girl? I am your granny. Suju smiled faintly. He said, We are in a dangerous place. Stop fooling around. Come, go into this bag. I will carry you up the mountain. The enemy will come in a moment. The little girl looked up at Suju from top to bottom. Suddenly she spotted the gem ring on his left finger. Her countenance changed. She asked, What is that? Let me see. Suju did not want to wear the gem ring, but he was aware that the ring was an important object. He was afraid of losing it, thus he didn't dare to keep it on his bosom. When the little girl inquired about it, he laughed and said, It's not an amusing object. The little girl stretched out her hand and grabbed his left wrist. She examined the ring carefully. She tilted Suju's palm. She looked at it for a long time. Suju felt her tiny hands shivering. He inclined his head. Her eyes were brimming with tears. After a long time, she finally released Suju's palm. The little girl said, This 7 treasure ring, where did you steal it? Her tone is severe, as if she was interrogating a robber. Suju was unhappy. He said, Monks have to maintain strict discipline. How can we steal? Someone gave this to me. How can you say I stole it? The little girl said, Rubbish! You are a Shaolin disciple. How can he give this ring to you? If you refuse to tell the truth, I will pluck out your tendon and peel off your skin. You will suffer all sorts of pain and misery. Oh, this is the child elder, isn't it? The child granny? Suju could not help but laugh. He pondered. If I did not witness it personally, just by hearing the voice, I will really be frightened by this little girl. He said, Little girl. Suddenly there was a pa sound. His waist was hit by a fist, but the little girl was feeble and weak. He did not feel any pain. Suju said, How can you hit someone? You are so young, yet you are so unreasonable and rude. The little girl asked, What is your name? Suju said, Junior monk's religious name is Suju. The little girl said, Your religious name is Suju. Ling Xuan Hui Shu. You are the 37th generation disciple. Xuan Zi, Xuan Bei, Xuan Ku, Xuan Nen, Xuan Tong. All these little monk. They are your martial grandfather, correct? Suju retreated one step. He was amazed. Unexpectedly, this 8 and 9-year-old girl knows that his teacher and knew his teacher and his generation. She even addressed Xuan Zi, Xuan Bei as little monk, but her style of speech is not like a little girl. Suddenly, he recalled, It's rumored that the soul can reincarnate into somebody else's body. Don't tell me some old senior ghost resides in the body of this little girl. The little girl said, Correct or wrong? Just reply. How come you didn't respond? Suju said, You are correct, but you call our abbot a little monk. It's really too much. The little girl said, How is he not a little monk? I am the same generation with his master, Ling Men. How come Xuan Tzu is not a little monk? What too much or too little? Suju was even more startled. The master of the abbot, Xuan Tzu, Master Ling Men, was an outstanding disciple from the 34th generation. Suju believed that a soul reincarnated into this little girl's body. He said, Then, who are you? The little girl was furious. She said, Just now you addressed me as senior. It's still respectful and courteous, but why do you keep saying you now? If not for your meritorious service in saving me, Granny would end your dog life with a single palm. Suju heard her call herself Granny. He was very scared. He said, Granny, I wouldn't dare to ask for your great name. The little girl's anger turned into happiness. She said, Now it's much better. let me ask you first. This 7 treasure ring, where did you obtain it? Suju said, An old man gave it to me. Initially, I didn't want it. I am a Shaolin disciple. I really cannot accept it, but that old man was close to death. I couldn't explain. The little girl suddenly grabbed his wrist again. Her voice trembled. You say that old man is close to death. He is dead? No, tell me first, what is the appearance of the old man? Suju said, His beard is 3 chi, face like polished jade, appearance elegant and handsome. The little girl was trembling. She asked, Why was he close to death? His lifetime of martial arts. Suddenly her sorrow turned into anger. She cursed, Stinky monk! Wuxia's lifetime of martial arts. If he didn't disperse his energy, how could he die? How could he die so easily? Suju nodded his head and said, Yes. Although this little girl was young, but her manner was imposing and intimidating. Suju didn't dare to voice his objection, but he was unclear about something. What is dispersed energy? It's so easy for a person to die. What is so difficult about that? The little girl asked again. Where did you meet Wu Yazi? Suju said, You are referring to the elegant and handsome old man, the master of Mr. Intelligent, Xu Xinghe, correct? The little girl said, Obviously. You don't even know his name. You still dare to lie. You claim he gave you this 7-treasure ring. Shameless. You are really brazen. Suju said, You know Mr. Wu Yazu? The little girl said angrily, I am questioning you. You cannot question me. I ask you, where did you meet Wu Yazu? Answer quickly. Suju said, At a mountain peak, I accidentally solved the Zhenlong chess formation, and I got to meet that old man. The little girl clenched her fist. She adopted a striking posture. She said angrily, Rubbish! This Zhenlong chess formation confounded countless wise and talented people for over 10 years. A little monk like you who is stupid like a cow. How can you solve it? If you dare to talk big again, I won't be courteous to you anymore. Suju said, Based on Junior Monk's ability, obviously I can't solve it, but the situation at that time was dangerous. Mr. Intelligent forced Junior Monk to land a chess piece. Junior Monk had no alternative but to close my eyes and randomly land a chess piece. Accidentally, it landed on the live-together stalemate situation. I killed my own white chess piece and sacrificed them to the black side. Unexpectedly, the situation became optimistic. I managed to solve it under the guidance of another expert. All this by fluke, but Junior Monk acted recklessly. Henceforth my guilt is not small. I really sinned. Buddha, have mercy. As he finished speaking, he pressed his hands together. He chanted the name of Buddha. The little girl was skeptical. She said, Based on what you said, it is somewhat logical. She had yet to complete her sentence. Suddenly, a faint whistle transmitted from the bottom. Suju called out, Ayo! He opened the cloth bag. He grabbed the little girl and stuffed her into the sack. He carried the sack on his back and rushed up the mountain. After running for a while, the yelling at the bottom of the mountain became further and further. He turned his head around. A clear set of footprints imprinted on the snow. His voice was hoarse. Not good. The little girl asked, What not good? Suju said, I am leaving footprints on the snow. No matter how far we run, they will definitely find us. The little girl said, Go up the tree and travel. You won't leave any track. It's a pity your martial arts is simply too low. You don't even know the slightest bit of slightness martial arts. Little monk, your internal energy is not weak. There is no harm in trying. Suju said, Okay, I will try. He leapt up. He was in midair. Unexpectedly, his jump was 1 jung higher than the treetop. As he fell down, his feet stepped on the tree trunk. There was a kala sound. The tree trunk broke off. The tree dropped down along with Suju simultaneously. He was facing upwards while falling. he would definitely land on the top of the cloth sack. Suju was afraid of injuring the little girl. He hastily turned over in midair. There was a pung sound. His forehead bumped against a rock. Blood flowed immediately. Suju cried out, "Ayya! Ayya!" He struggled to get up. He was really ashamed. He said, My martial arts is really weak. I am stupid and tense. It won't work." The little girl said, "You rather injure yourself than land on me. At least you are respectful and courteous to Granny. Firstly, Granny wants to make use of you. Secondly, I want to reward a younger generation. I will impart a leaping technique to you. Listen properly. When leaping, bend your knees slightly. Gather energy in your dantian. As you feel the energy rise up, you have to relax your muscles and bones. Only think about the Yu-Jin acupoint." At once, she explained it line by line. She taught him how to twist and turn in midair, how to leap horizontally and jump vertically. Oh, he can double jump now. As she finished teaching, she said, "Follow my method and jump up." Suju said, "Yes, I will jump alone first to test it out, so that I won't tumble and injure you." He was about to put down the cloth sack. The little girl said angrily, "The skills that Granny teaches you, how can it be wrong? Test what crap. If you tumble again, Granny will kill you immediately." Suju could not help but shudder. He suddenly recalled he was carrying a ghost that reincarnated into someone else's body. All his hairs stood up. He wanted to fling the cloth sack far away, but he didn't dare. Eventually, he clenched his teeth and followed the energy channeling method taught by the little girl. He exercised his internal energy. He focused his thoughts on the Yu-Jin acupoint. Both his knees slightly bent, he jumped lightly. This time, as he jumped up, his body ascended unhurriedly. Although he had no support to rely on in the air, he could twist and turn freely. He was elated. He shouted, "It worked! It worked!" Unexpectedly, as he opened his mouth, the energy leaked out. He dropped. Unfortunately, he dropped straight down. He felt faint pain on the sole of his foot as it bumped against the ground. But he did not fall down. The little girl scolded him. "Little idiot! You have to mix your internal energy evenly. If you want to speak, you didn't even master the first step, and you are trying the fifth and sixth step." Suju said, Yes, it's Junior Monk's fault." He followed the method and jumped up again. He landed on a branch lightly. The branch swayed a few times. It did not break. Suju was really happy, but he didn't dare to open his mouth. He followed the method taught by the little girl and leapt forward. He flew horizontally for a jump and landed on the branch of the second tree. He bounced off again. He landed on the third tree. His breathing was smooth, his body light, and he had ample power. He leapt further and further. Afterwards, he could even cross over 2 trees in a single leap. He was traveling like the wind in the air. He could not help but feel shocked and excited. The forest was dense. He was flying by leaping off from the tip of the tree branch. There were no footprints on the ground. After the time taken to eat a meal, he was already deep within the forest. The little girl said, "It's done. Come down now." Suju said, "Yes." He jumped down lightly. He supported the little girl out of the cloth sack. The little girl saw his expression was full of joy and happiness. The joy was impossible to describe. She cursed. "Useless little monk. You only learned this superficial and tiny bit of skill, yet you are so happy." Suju said, Yes, Junior Monk's experience is shallow. Granny, the skills you taught me are very useful." The little girl said, "Unexpectedly, you learned it with just 1 round of guidance. Granny's divine eyes did not misjudge your talent. Little monk, your internal energy is not from Shaolin. Where did you learn your martial arts? You are so young, but how come your energy foundation is so deep and profound?" Suju's chest ached. His eyes turned red. He said, "Mr. Wu Yazu, just before he died, his 70 years lifetime of internal energy, he forcibly transmitted it to this junior monk's body. He said he used his divine skill of the Northern Darkness. Junior monk really didn't dare to betray Shaolin and change sect, but Mr. Wu Yazu didn't allow me to explain. He absorbed junior monk's internal energy. Although my internal energy is extremely shallow, it's really nothing, but this junior monk really spent quite a bit of hard work to cultivate it. Mr. Wu Yazu then passed on his martial arts to me. This junior monk didn't know if this is a blessing or a disaster. In short, someday I will return to Shaolin. In short. He kept saying in short, but he really didn't know what to say. The little girl was dazed and did not reply. She spread the cloth sack on a rock and sat on it, thinking deeply. She said softly, "It seems Wu Yazu really did pass on the carefree sect's leadership position to you." Shuju said, So you also know the name Carefree Sect?" All along, he didn't dare to mention the phrase Carefree Sect. Kang Guangling mentioned before, if outsiders hear the phrase Carefree Sect, they could not be allowed to live in this world. Now that the little girl mentioned it, he could finally speak of it. He thought, "You are a ghost, not human. You have no means to kill me." The little girl said angrily, "You think I am not aware of the Carefree Sect? When Granny became aware of the Carefree Sect, Wu Yazu was not even aware of it." Suju said, Yes, he pondered. "Maybe you are an old ghost from several hundred years ago. Naturally, you are much older than that Wu Yazu old man." The little girl picked up a dried branch. She was drawing on the snow ground. She kept drawing straight lines. After a while, she completed a drawing of a chessboard with 19 horizontal and vertical lines. Suju was startled. "She wants to force me to play chess. I am really in trouble." But after drawing the chessboard, she started drawing the chess piece. An empty circle was a white chess piece. A circle with a dot at the center was a black chess piece. The chessboard was filled with chess pieces. When the arrangement was half complete, Suju recognized it. It was the Zhenlong chess formation, which he solved. He pondered. "So you also knew about this Zhenlong?" He thought, "Don't tell me you also tried to solve it many years ago. You think bitterly and eventually died due to anger?" As he thought about it, he felt a cold chill on his back. The little girl completed the Zhenlong chess formation. She said, "You said you solved this Zhenlong. What is the first move? Demonstrate it for me to see." Shuju said, "Yes." He killed his own side with the first move and sacrificed a huge group of white chess pieces to his opponent. At once, the situation became optimistic. Afterwards, he followed the directions given by Duan Yanqing and counterattacked the black side. Sweat poured down the little girl's forehead. She muttered, Fated. Who in the world would think of such an odd method? Kill yourself before attacking the enemy?" When Suju solved the Zhenlong, the little girl pondered for a long time. She said, "So it seems that the little monk is not talking rubbish. This move is called nothing less than complete destruction. Wu Yazu passed on his 7 treasure ring to you. Tell me the entire process in detail. You cannot cover up the truth." Suju said, "Yes." He narrated everything from the start, how his master dispatched him down the Shaolin Temple, how he broke the Zhenlong, how Wu Yazu passed on his internal energy and ring, how Ding Chunqiu used his poison to kill Xu Xinghe and Xuannan, how he tried to find Hui Feng and his martial uncles, etc. He narrated everything. Oh, thanks for that summary. The little girl did not say a word. She let him finish speaking. Finally, she said, "Then Wu Yazu is your master. How come you didn't address him as master? Why do you address him as Mr. Wu Yazu?" Suju's expression was awkward. He said, "Junior monk is a Shaolin monk. I really cannot change sects." The little girl said, "So you are unwilling to become Carefree sect leader?" Suju nodded his head repeatedly and said, "Absolutely." The little girl said, "Then it's easy. Give this 7-treasure ring to me. I will replace you and become the carefree sect leader. How about it?" Suju was elated. He said, "This is exactly what I had been hoping for." He removed the gem ring from his finger and gave it to her. What? Just like that? The little girl's expression was fluctuating. She seemed to be happy, yet sad. She took the ring and put it on her finger, but her finger was tiny. The ring would fall off if she wore it on her middle finger or ring finger. Eventually, she put it on her thumb. She scrutinized the ring for a long time. Finally, she asked, "You said Wu Yazu gave you a painting. He asked you to go to Wuliang Mountain and find someone to teach you the higher level martial arts of the carefree sect. Where is the painting?" Suju retrieved the painting from his bosom. The little girl opened the scroll. She looked at the beautiful woman in the painting. Suddenly, her countenance changed. She cursed. He wants this bitch to teach you martial arts. He, on his deathbed, yet he still constantly thinks about this bitch. He draws her appearance so nicely." Her face was full of anger and jealousy. She threw the painting on the floor and stepped on it. There's some history there. Suju called out, "Ayo!" He quickly snatched it away, the painting. The little girl said angrily, "You feel it's a pity?" Suju said, "This is such a nice painting. Obviously, it's a pity to destroy it." The little girl said, "The identity of this bitch, that little thief Wu Yazu, did he tell you?" Suju shook his head and said, "No." He pondered, "How come Mr. Wu Yazu became a little thief?" The little girl said angrily, "This little thief is deluded. It's been 10 years already. How can her appearance be like this? Even at that time, how can she be so good-looking?" She was getting more and more angry. She stretched out her hands and wanted to snatch the painting to tear it up. Suju quickly withdrew his hands and kept the painting in his bosom. The little girl was short, her strength weak. She could not snatch it. She gasped for breath and cursed, "Little thief, have no conscience, shameless and stinky bitch." Suju didn't understand, since the old ghost that resided in this little girl recognized the beautiful woman in the painting, then both of them must have some prior hatred. Although it was just a painting, her anger was really hard to eliminate. The little girl was still cursing viciously. Suddenly, Suju's stomach groaned in hunger. He ran for almost half a day. Moreover, he rushed wildly and jumped about. Yet he did not eat a single grain of rice. Obviously, he was very hungry. The little girl said, "You are hungry?" Suju said, "Yes, I am afraid there is nothing edible in this snow peak." The little girl said, "Why, no. There are a lot of bamboo partridges on Snow Peak. There are also sika deer and antelope. I will teach you a lightness martial arts that allows you to sprint on flat ground. I will also teach you techniques to catch chicken and sheep." Suju did not wait for her to finish. He quickly waved his hands and said, "How can a monk kill? I'd rather starve to death than eat meat and fish." The little girl cursed, "Thieving monk! Don't tell me you never ate meat and fish before in your entire life." Suju recalled the day he was tricked by that female at the restaurant. He ate fatty meat and drank half a bowl of chicken soup. He said bitterly, Junior Monk was deceived by someone. I ate meat and fish once, but that was unintentional. Buddha will not blame me, but you want me to personally kill the animal. I definitely cannot do that." And, okay, I think we're going to stop here. Good place to stop, I think. Alright, did you guys like that chapter? I thought it was pretty good. So we meet the kid granny, finally. The child granny. And she turns out to have some prior history with that old carefree sect leader. Yeah. Good chapter so far? I think so. Alright. Gonna have myself a drink. Alright, cheers. Can you eat all that meat without noticing? Well, he didn't know what meat tasted like. I guess he never knew what meat tasted like before. So yeah. I think when he was eating that bowl of soup or whatever he was eating, he was like, "Oh, why does it taste so good? Why does it taste so good?" All right, guys. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for the next chapter. I want to know what their history is. Okay, guys. Thanks for coming. I love you, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.